So the new season of Classroom of the Elite is finally here, and with it brings a new wave of discussion that can sometimes get heated with this show. And I think it's important we talk about this before we talk about episode 1. And that is is it rushed? Is it a mess? Is it the best thing ever? I kind of feel like after covering season 2, this was a very hot topic, and I'm already seeing that for this episode. This episode just came out, and already, like, most of the discussion I'm seeing around it is people arguing, is it rushed? Is it a mess? Are they just trying to get to so-and-so content from so-and-so light novel? And listen, I'm just gonna say, you are not going to get a guaranteed answer that the majority agrees with, because I really feel like this is one of the more split anime adaptations of people saying, it is rushed, but we enjoy it, or we're anime original, we don't see it being rushed, or what the hell did they do to my favorite light novel? Let me just make this explicitly clear, because even if I help a couple of people out of however many watch this video, it will be worth it. If you think Classroom of the Elite is a rushed mess, that is okay. Express your opinion. If you think it is fine, and you think, what the hell are these people talking about, that's fine too. I just feel like when we get into this topic of is something rushed, is it a mess, we get very confrontational and we butt heads. Just enjoy what you enjoy, let people express why they feel like maybe shit might be a little rushed for them. But at the end of the day, we all gonna enjoy Classroom of the Elite one way or another, whether that's through the light novels, whether that's through the anime. I'm of the belief I don't see it being rushed. I really don't. Apparently this episode is, from my point of view, I mean, we were standing around talking, setting up this new arc. It's actually a lot more of a restrictive arc for Koji. I mean, Manabu comes in, cashing in on his favor, which honestly, this favor is kind of insane, all things considered. And if it is rushed, I didn't see it. I'd love to hear maybe why it is to a lot of people, but it's just based on how season 2 went. I remember season 2 got a little spicy, and I'm really hoping we don't get into that same level of hostility with season 3. Because for me personally, from what I saw, maybe you experienced different things. At the end of the day, anime adaptations, they are gonna cut stuff. They are gonna change stuff. And it's just like, don't attack people for liking or hating those changes. It's all opinions. We all have them. They're all acceptable. I just want to make that clear because I think Classroom of the Elite is a very fun show to discuss. It's okay if we disagree about how the anime handles things. Just be pleasant. I think there's too much hostility anymore in this community, and we need to remind each other that we all anime fans at the end of the day. Maybe that's not what you want me to start off a video talking about, but I just want to set the stage that I'm going to be talking about this show week by week, and I'm going to be enjoying it. And it's okay if you truly hate these episodes, just respect each other's opinions. It's simple, it's the little things we need to remind ourselves some days, but I just wanted to throw that out there. Now, we do also have a full live reaction to today's episode of Classroom of the Elite over on my Patreon. If you would like to see my full thoughts as we watch today's episode, it's over there if you're interested. So this was, from my point of view anyway, a very good setup episode. We pretty much started off, and I mean, the biggest challenge for me in any show, whether it's a show like Classroom of the Elite with a shit ton of characters, or it's a show with 3 characters and I just can't remember their names. Remembering names is an absolute bitch for me, so you have to understand that. I will remember 3 or 4 characters per episode, and we're gonna roll with that. But what ends up happening is we get set into this new stage where, if you really think about it, and I think they did a great job with the recap, whether that's some stuff from season 1 or just replaying the big stuff from season 2. At one point, we go over the big fight that we had near the end of season 2. We go over all the individual, like, tests that they've done throughout the first season all the way throughout season 2. And Koji pretty much goes in and talks about how this is probably the most restrictive because ultimately he can't do what he normally does, and that is manipulate everyone in the way that he needs, because now we're split up into these groups and pretty much it's like if the captain goes down, the person also goes down with him. So it's not just like you can simply say, okay, I'm gonna manipulate so-and-so into this way and then everything's gonna fall into peace. It really does seem like, from my point of view anyway, this is gonna be an arc where there might be a couple of people that we manipulate in order to get to them to like where they need to go, but at the end of the day, he's gonna have to just hope and just try to set the stage for people to be able to handle things by themselves. But as we can see, there's a lot of shady things already starting to pop up. I mean, at one point, they mention it when our buddy comes in after apparently working out. I thought he was from the bath. He's just dripping in sweat. we're about to throw hands, and he gets pushed back saying, no, if he has a black eye, how are we going to explain this? And you can see how they would get punished for that. And what ends up happening is the tripping scene. I had to rewind it, because at first I was just like, I was bamboozled. I was baffled. I was like, here comes someone with a cane or a walking stick, falls over, and you're just watching and being like, oh, are you okay? I really thought this dude just had no manners, but thinking about it, no, there's going to be a lot of moments where characters are, oops, I tripped you, but probably trying to take out the competition or anything like that. And I think there's going to be a lot of craziness because we're in a location that I feel like is best described as either it's about to be a horror scene or it's about to be the most pleasant vacation. There's nothing in the middle. The location we're at is actually quite beautiful. It's quite spiritual, but the fog, the atmosphere, this is a Higurashi scene waiting to happen. And with the type of characters we have in this cast, that's very much a possibility. Or it's just going to be a very pleasant time. There's no in between. And since this is Classroom of the Elite, I don't think it's going to be a pleasant time. Maybe it won't be a complete bloodbath, but, you know, my point stands. And Manabu coming in at the end of the episode, cashing in on that favor. Completely forgot about that. This is what I'm talking about. I'm really happy of how Classroom of the Elite refreshes things without it feeling necessarily like a recap episode. And him coming in with the vice president of the student council, who's basically like, I don't trust in your abilities whatsoever, but I trust in my homie here, and we're going to get this done. I don't know how successful they're going to be, and I have no idea how long this arc is going to last. You can let me know in the comments. I don't mind, you know, rough estimates of how many episodes most likely the arc will be. Will it be the whole season? Will it be half the season? I like knowing that stuff, personally. I don't really consider that spoilers. I consider spoilers to be more specifics of what will happen, but I'm interested because this is the type of arc that could be anywhere from like 3 to 6 episodes from my point of view, and it feels like even though it could only last that long, I could also see how it could easily last a whole season. We have a 13 episode season here, right? And this test is divided into 4 different categories. And honestly, the way Classroom of the Elite takes such basic ideas for like, you could have a marathon race and it becomes the craziest shit we've seen. That has me excited. That's why I was really excited when seasons 2 and 3 were announced back to back, because I never expected to see more of Classroom of the Elite. I thought if I wanted to experience more, I'd have to read it. And while yes, the whole, is it a rushed adaptation? Is the pacing piss poor? That's always up for debate. I really feel like it gets divided into 2 categories for the most part, and that is source readers generally say it is rushed, and anime originals generally say it's, we don't see it. That seems to be what it is. And I think at the end of the day, as long as anime onlys are understanding the show from just watching the anime, it's done a good enough job because they don't feel like they need to have to know extra things outside of those episodes in order to comprehend the show. And I think that's a good thing, but this is a meaty boy. This is a meaty substance of a show. There's no way in 20-minute episodes they're going to be able to get across all the dialogue from that amazing light novel, I'm sure. But all I can say is, from my point of view, I thought this was a well-paced episode. Apparently, maybe that's incorrect for a lot of people. All I say is, let's respect each other. Let's, you know, people don't like this. They're like, oh, you're too sappy. But listen, the internet's too toxic anymore. Let's just create a good environment to discuss this stuff. Explain why we think it's a well-paced episode. For me, a lot of good dialogue, a lot of talking. Didn't feel like we were rushing into a big moment of the episode. They just took their time, and I kind of vibed with it. But maybe you feel differently. Let me know what you're feeling though on this episode down below. What do you think of this arc if you know anything about it? Is it going to be a banger of an arc? Because I thought season 2 was the best stuff we saw from Classroom of the Elite. Do you think season 3 is going to surpass it? Let me know down below. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here, of course ring that bell so you can get notified when I upload more of the channel. And like I mentioned, we had that full live reaction over on my Patreon, and hey, while you're over there, you also get a video shout out. Alright, so today we have Andrew DePuma, Jason Liu, Muhammad, Rita Reed, Hune, Chloe NG, and Marco Sands. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care and have a good one.